My beloved child, listen with every part of your being. I am Michael, not as a rumor or a half-remembered whisper, but as a trumpet at your soul's gate. Do not let your eyes skim these words, let them sink down into the marrow. For too long you have carried a weight no one gave you to carry, the bewildering ache of betrayal, the shuddering question that wakes you at night, why did they turn away? Today the veil lifts a fraction and something hidden moves under it. This is not gentle. This is not polite. This is necessary. You were betrayed. I have seen the sharpness of that cut. I have watched the way your chest tightened, the way you retraced old conversations, rewound the smiles that were not what they seemed. The person who betrayed you is trembling now, not from repentance, not from true sorrow, but from fear that their carefully arranged masks may slip. They are desperate. Desperation does strange things. It burrows, it claws, it hides new secrets behind older lies. There is one, perhaps many, things they still hide from you. They think the hiding will buy them time. They are wrong. Do not expect me to sugar the truth. The truth is not always a neat armful of answers. It is a sharp, rearranging thing that knocks portraits off mantels and makes rooms look unfamiliar. You will find pieces you didn't expect, small, ordinary objects that carry the weight of what was withheld, messages that were never meant for your eyes but were sent because human fear makes hands clumsy, a silence so loud it has the outline of a confession. These hidden things may be petty. They may be ruinous. They may be edges of a larger secret you have only imagined in the dark. Whatever shape they take, they have been kept from you so that someone could feel safer while you were left unknowing. That safety was built on theft. Hear me clearly. You are not defined by what was stolen from you. You are not reduced by the lies told about you, or the parts of your life that were rearranged to exclude you. But you must see. You must open, because ignorance keeps the betrayer in a position of power. The person who betrayed you wants you to sleep while they rearrange your life. That will not stand. Open, not to invade without cause, not to hurt yourself chasing ghosts, but to reclaim your perimeter, to light a lamp and see the rooms as they are. When you open, expect shock. Expect that your first breath after seeing will taste metallic and strange. This is a holy disorientation. It is the flaring of a wound before it can mend. Do not confuse shock with defeat. Shock is a sign that your inner truth is waking. After shock, anger will come. Anger is not a sin, it is a current that clears debris. Let it move through you like a river. Do not dam it up and then pretend the water didn't move. Let it carry away the brittle things that no longer serve you. But also do not let anger become your ruler. Anger must be a tool, not the throne upon which you sit. You will be tempted to gather allies for retaliation, to call witnesses like a general marshal's troops. Resist the immediate urge to corral others into your pain for use as weapons. There is a deeper justice, the one that comes from seeing and from setting boundaries, that is more effective than any shout. Name the betrayal. State what you now know with clarity and without theatrical flourish. When you speak, do so from the calm center of what is true, not from the hot edge of what was done to you. This will confuse them, because most who betray expect a script of accusation, of weeping, of spectacle. They are not prepared for quiet, steady truth. Protect your sacred places. There are parts of you that are not negotiable, the corner where you pray, the part of your schedule that keeps you sane, the people who have always shown up. Reinforce these borders like the careful mason laying stone. If they have a key, take it back. If they have names and accounts and access, change the locks. This is not vindictiveness, it is self-preservation. The person who betrayed you has a map of your life. Make new terrain. The world must not be allowed to become a place where betrayal is rewarded with continued access. Trust your senses. Memory is not a perfect ledger, but your senses are faithful sentinels. When your stomach tightens at a name, when the hair on your arms rises at a certain gesture, do not dismiss these as oversensitivity. They are reactions carved by experience and informed by spirit. Collect what you need for clarity, a journal of small observations, copies of messages, a list of inconsistencies. You are building a scaffolding of truth, one small beam at a time. Evidence is not only for courts, it is for your peace of mind. It prevents you from being gaslit by charm or by the polished brow of regret. Listen for signs, but do not allow superstition to be your compass. Signs are for reassurance and for permission to proceed, they are not tools to be manufactured. If a recurring image, a dream, an intuition returns with force, sit with it. I will nudge you. The holy light will press a finger to your chest when something is genuine. But do not let every coincidence convince you that the heavens have a press release concerning your life. Be discriminating. You have enemies of distraction as well as enemies of deceit. Know this, the desperate betrayer will try to rewrite the story. They will propose versions where they are the hurt one, where their actions are the result of your coldness, your failure, your shortcomings. This is classic, a mirror tactic. Guard your center. When they invert blame, respond with facts, not with the reciprocal of chaos. When they are loud, be still. When they weep crocodile tears, remember the faces of those who truly repented in your life, you will sense the difference. Repentance leaves a trail, changed behavior, consistent humility, a willingness to make reparations that do not look like clever bargaining but like genuine sacrifice. If you see that, assess slowly. If you see only charm and theatrics, trust your boundary. Betrayal taught you one harsh lesson: you are fallible, but you are not foolish. There will be a temptation to blame yourself to the point of self-erasure. Do not. The sin of betrayal lies where it was committed, not upon your head. You were seen, and you were chosen, even in error. There is a dignity in having been trusted. Pain does not cancel dignity. Hold that truth like a warm stone in your palm when doubt presses cold fingers into your spine. Do not rush to heal on someone else's schedule. People will tell you to forgive quickly, to move on, to let bygones be bygones because it spares other people discomfort. Forgiveness is a divine tool, but it is not a public performance or a shortcut. Forgiveness frees you from the poison of perpetual retaliation. It does not obligate you to restore access or to forget the lesson. Forgiveness and reconciliation are different things. You may forgive and still refuse to return to a harmful arrangement. Reconciliation requires more than words, it requires changed life. Prepare yourself for allies to fracture. Some who were near will choose to believe the betrayer for reasons that have nothing to do with your worth. This will hurt. It will be a second betrayal, smaller in method but not by consequence. Let them go without carrying their weight like a debt you must repay. You cannot mandate hearts. Some people pick comfort over courage. That is their path, not yours. Surround yourself with those who show up with consistent small things: a call, a text at midnight, food left at your door. Little loyalties are the foundations of true houses. You will also discover strange gifts in this season. Pain unspools pockets where treasures were sown, clarity about what you truly need, an iron sharpening of your instincts, the emergence of a strength you did not know you had. This strength is not the brittle pride that brags and burns, it is the quiet authority that sits in the room while the world clatters. Let it root. Let it grow. Use it to make different choices, choices that guard your soul and open your life to better companions. If legal or material rights are implicated, do the practical work. Spiritual warfare is real and necessary, but it does not replace counsel, nor does it excuse neglecting necessary paperwork. Get your documents in order. Consult clear-headed advisors who will not be swept away by the drama. Do not let emotion be the sole driver in decisions that will affect your livelihood. Protect your property, your finances, your children, your work. The person who betrayed you may attempt to manipulate these things while you are stunned. Be proactive. Guard your inner speech. The mind will replay scenes and invent endings. The human tendency is to become a director of hypothetical horrors. Stop the reruns. When you notice spirals, say aloud, "I refuse this narrative." Replace the imagined scenarios with facts or with prayers. Repeat what is true about you. Anchor in phrases that heal rather than inflame. The small liturgies of the soul, a short prayer, a grounding breath, a verse that steadies you, will be more useful than any scream. Do not make decisions in the first hour of discovery that will become shackles in the second month. Major moves, selling a house, cutting ties permanently, divorcing a partner, take counsel, prayer, and steady assessment. Fevered actions often create regrets that are harder to undo than the original wound. There is power in pacing. Pace is holy because it protects you from throwing away what you might need later. When you confront, plan your words. Speak slowly. Use I statements. Describe what you know and how that knowledge feels. Do not be baited into playing a role in someone else's drama. If the betrayer erupts into performance, allow them the stage and step back. If they respond with accountability, small miracles will follow, consistent change, transparent acts of repair, and humility that does not gaslight. If they lie, keep your distance. A lie repeated is a brick. You are not obliged to live in a wall built by someone else. Pray. But know that prayer does not mean passive waiting. Prayer is a partnership with the divine, a sharpening of vision, a settling of the heart, a righting of the inner compass. Pray for clarity, for protection, for the tearing away of illusions. Pray also for the betrayer if your heart has room, not because their soul matters more than your pain, but because praying releases you from the sticky thorns of hatred. If you cannot pray for them yet, pray for your own release. That is enough. There will be days you feel small and nights that feel long. Anchor yourself with routine, light, food that nourishes, sleep that is prioritized, small practices that say to your body, you are safe enough to heal. These are not trivial acts, they are armor for the inner life. When you care for your body, you reassert your dignity. When you keep your morning simple and kind, you deny chaos the satisfaction of pulling you into its game. Take the chance to relearn how to trust, slowly. Find trustworthy people and give them small openings, see how they treat what you reveal. Trust is rebuilt by 1,000 small courtesies. It is not a single monument erected overnight. Celebrate the small correct things, someone who shows up, someone who keeps a secret, someone who protects you from gossip. These are the bricks of a new life. Finally, hear this without flinching: the one who betrayed you is capable of change, and they are also capable of more betrayal. Your future decisions must be made from the place of discernment, not blind hope. If they truly transform, it will not be because you forgave quickly. It will be because their life turned. If they remain in the old tracks, do not waste your future on the hope that they will someday choose better. Some people repair themselves for others, others never stop rehearsing the same harm. Let their choice be their responsibility. Rise. Not because I command, but because your soul remembers the contour of courage. Rise and arrange your life in such a way that your dignity precedes you like a shield. Rise and rebuild with hands that know the texture of careful work. Rise and keep a light in your window for those who are truly weary and true, not for those who once feasted and then left crumbs of sorrow. This season will be a hard teacher, but it will not be your final word. You are not the sum of what was taken. You are more than what was hidden. You are called to a larger wholeness that stands firm and kind, that knows wounds and yet chooses wisdom over rage, boundaries over bondage, truth over illusion. Walk in that paradox. Let your eyes be open, your heart be guarded, and your spirit be brave. Open now. See. Take back what is yours, not to punish, but to restore the sacred order of your life. I stand with the sword of clarity, not to wound you further, but to cut the cords that keep you bound to their deceit. The person who betrayed you is desperate, yes, but the truer miracle is your waking. Open and let the light finish what night began. I hear you. Archangel Michael's voice is near, steady and fierce with mercy at the same time. He says, "Do not close your eyes to what your spirit already knows. This is for you alone. Open it, receive it, and let what has been hidden be brought into the light with truth and healing. You have been wounded by betrayal. That pain has a sound and a rhythm in your chest. Listen to it. It is not a condemnation of you but a call to awake. The one who betrayed you is now acting from a place of panic, from scrambling fear, from corners of the heart where shame and greed mix. They are desperate. That desperation will make them act in ways that seem urgent, apologetic, or even clever, but beneath those actions something still remains buried. They are hiding more than they will admit. They may offer small pieces to keep you quiet, to buy forgiveness with gifts or explanations, to redirect your gaze with charm, tears, or sudden promises. Archangel Michael warns, none of those crumbs equal truth. Breathe. Take in a deep, honest breath. The air you draw now is a shield of clarity. Michael moves beside you like a lighthouse that will not dim. He does not want you to react from the rawness of hurt. He wants you to see with the long vision that comes from both justice and compassion. What was taken or twisted can be revealed. What was silenced can be spoken aloud. You have stood naked under a sky of confusion for too long. It is time for facts to meet faith. Know this: betrayal does not define your value. The act of someone else cannot change the worth carved into your soul. The wound may be real and it may ache, but it is not the measure of who you are. You are deeper than this betrayal. You are made of a light that cannot be stolen. Michael's sword is not for cutting you down, it is for severing the ties that bind you to lies. He will not strike without reason. His first task is to clarify. His second task is to protect. His third is to lead you into the path of restoration that is aligned with your highest good. The person who betrayed you is acting out of fear because they are running out of angles. When people are cornered, they hide the things that matter most: documents, messages, relationships, small transactions, secret calls, or private promises. They will seduce truth with distractions. They will plead, bargain, and perform repentance as a mask. Michael says, pay attention to the pattern, not the performance. Patterns reveal intention. If attention to you was conditional, if their loyalty fluctuated like weather, if excuses followed consistency like a tail follows a dog, then what they offer now is rehearsal for the same old script unless a deep internal change has occurred. Change that matters is quiet, steady, and consistent. It grows slowly and humbly. It does not demand an audience. Ask for the things you need to know with clear courage. You do not need to shout, ask with steadiness. Name the facts. Request the records. Ask for the conversations to be shown in detail. Truth is a patient entity. It waits until someone insists upon it. When you ask, make the request in the presence of witnesses if that helps, a trusted friend, a counselor, or Michael's light. When you call for truth, put down the demand for immediate theatrical confession and lift up the demand for clarity, dates, names, receipts, timelines. Do not let guilt or shame be swapped for information. Guilt can be manipulated, facts cannot. Guard your heart, but do not harden it into a stone that forgets to hope. Michael's counsel is paradoxically gentle in this. Solid boundaries are an act of mercy to yourself and to the other. Boundaries will not permanently punish. They will create the conditions where truth must either be lived or lose breath. Tell them, I will receive the truth. I will not trade my peace for a performance. This statement is both a gate and an invitation. You may be tempted to forgive quickly because the pain is loud. Resist that temptation. Forgiveness is a sacred work of release that you do on your timetable, not theirs. Forgiveness is for you, not a shortcut for them. It is not condoned by a lack of accountability. Prepare yourself emotionally for what may come. The unveiling may be small or it may be vast. Michael prepares you for both outcomes. If what is hidden is small, a single secret kept out of fear, then you will receive an apology that is matched with repair. If what is hidden is large, a tangled web of choices that affected not only you but the lives around you, then the truth may come in stages, and the process will be messy. Either way, place your trust in your inner compass. It will not fail you if you listen to it alongside Michael's counsel. Listen for the quiet, steady voice inside that says, "This is my boundary. This is my peace. This is my next step." Michael says, remember that justice and mercy can walk together. Justice asks for restoration of what was lost when possible. Mercy asks for healing to replace hatred. You may find yourself asking, what kind of justice should I seek? That answer is personal. Sometimes justice is a conversation and a committed changing of ways. Other times justice is structural, legal, financial, or social, and must be pursued through formal channels. Michael will stand with you whether you choose a path of reconciliation or a path of separation. Neither choice is inherently superior, both require courage. Do not confuse exposure with vengeance. Let exposure be a light that clarifies, not a weapon you hurl from a place of fury. When you expose truth with dignity, you preserve your soul. When you publish truth as a punishment, you risk being lowered into the chaos you left. Michael says, "Speak but do not shatter." Reveal the facts, document the harm, and let systems respond if that is necessary. If the secret endangers others, then bring it forward for the safety of those who cannot defend themselves. If the secret is personal and private, then keep your testimony precise and avoid theatrical dramatization that obscures the facts. Pay attention to the small signs around you. People who hide things often leave a trail: deleted messages, changes in passwords, evasive scheduling, new accounts, sudden generosity that is not sustainable, or a shift in language from personal pronouns like we to distance-laced I-s. Keep a careful record, not out of obsession but out of stewardship. Michael asks you to be a wise steward of evidence, write dates, preserve messages, and create a timeline that honors your memory. If it helps, collect trusted witnesses who can corroborate. Memory alone can be challenged. A written record stabilizes the facts. Hold on to your dignity. God says, "Listen. This message is meant for you and you alone. Settle into a quiet place, breathe slowly, and let these words come around you like a mantle of light." Archangel Michael stands beside you now, his presence like a strong, steady hand on your shoulder. He is not angry at you, he is fierce for you. He carries a sword of truth that glows with a calm, unshakable clarity. He says, "Don't ignore this." The person who betrayed you is in a place of desperation, and yet they are still hiding something. There is more that you do not yet know. Open this now, not because fear says you must, but because the truth will set you free. You have been hurt. The wound left by betrayal is raw and bewildering. The person you trusted most, perhaps a lover, a close friend, a business partner, or even a family member, turned away from the covenant you both held. They did things behind your back. They whispered falsehoods, made secret deals, or withheld what was owed to your heart. God sees the sting, Michael sees the exact contour of that wound. He says, "Do not let shame or disbelief bury what your soul already knows." Your intuition has been a lamp in the dark, it has been true. Yet there is a deeper layer, a hidden ledger of motives and small betrayals that when added together reveal the full picture. That ledger is not fully open yet. The person who betrayed you still carries a hidden weight of decisions, debts, and silences. It is in those silences that the next revelation waits. Archangel Michael wants you to know first and foremost that you are not alone in this. God is with you, not as a distant observer, but as an ever-present companion who understands the ache in your chest and the questions in your mind. You may feel dizzy with anger one moment and sick with longing the next. This back and forth is normal. Forgiveness will come later. Right now, you are permitted to be stunned and furious. Michael stands with your righteous anger because righteous anger is a boundary, and boundaries are holy. Your heart is allowed to say, I will not be treated like this. I will not accept betrayal as normal. Hold that boundary gently and firmly. You have the right to protect your soul. Practical things will unfold now, and Michael will help open doors you did not expect. But first, prepare, make a small, sacred space where you can receive without distraction. Light a candle, though the flame is symbolic, the true light is within you. Speak this, God, reveal to me what I must see. Michael, stand guard over my heart. Give me clear eyes and steady feet. Say it aloud 3 times if you can. This is not superstition, it is an aligning of your will with divine intention. When you ask, the heavens answer in seasons and in small, undeniable signs. You must expect signs. They will arrive as coincidences that feel anything but coincidental, a message that appears at the exact moment you think of someone, a document surfacing in an unexpected place, an acquaintance suddenly confessing what they witnessed. Keep your heart open to unusual clarity. Michael will sharpen your perception. You will notice patterns you previously missed. You might discover messages deleted and then recovered, receipts, or messages on devices that were thought to be private. Sometimes those revelations will arrive through other people, someone who could not bear the weight of silence and finally speaks. Pay attention to old friends, a sibling, a coworker, or a neighbor who seems nervous but compelled to tell you something. Their discomfort will be a channel for truth. When truth arrives, it will not always be pretty. It may be raw and sharp, and you will have to breathe through it. God is not sending these revelations to punish you. He is sending light so that you can choose with full knowledge. Choices made in ignorance are often compromised. Choices made in truth are free. Michael says, once the hidden ledger opens, do not rush to judgment. Let facts land and be processed. Ask for clarity. Seek documents, timestamps, proof. When possible, gather evidence calmly. This is not about revenge, it is about protecting yourself and ensuring that the next step you take is based on reality, not on a story that could be twisted by memory and pain. There is also a message about motive. People who betray often try to justify themselves with stories to ease their conscience. I had no choice, it was for your good, you wouldn't understand. Do not be fooled. These rationalizations are often the last cloak of someone who knows they did wrong. Michael asks you to listen for patterns of excuse-making and minimization. Truth will not need to contort itself into elaborate explanations. Truth stands simple. When you encounter excuses, note them but do not accept them as the final truth. Let the silence of the accused be instructive. Those who have truly changed will show consistent repentance and transparent actions. Those who are still hiding will cling to ambiguity. God also wants you to know that exposure does not mean destruction. The purpose of exposing hidden things is to restore order, to bring justice, and to protect the innocent. Sometimes exposure sweeps away a false structure so a truer one can be built. If the person who betrayed you is exposed, they will face consequences, not just from you, but from the ripple effects of their actions. That is not your burden to engineer. Your role is to see clearly and to choose wisdom. Michael will be your advocate and your defender as you walk through this. He will cut through lies with a blade that is merciful but precise. You will not be abandoned in the aftermath. As you prepare for revelation, prepare also for your own healing. Betrayal cuts like a shard into the fabric of self. You may question your judgment, your worth, your right to be loved. Hear God say, "You are infinitely beloved." Your worth is not determined by another's loyalty. Your identity is not tethered to their fidelity. Say to yourself, "I am loved by God." Repeat it until the words no longer feel foreign. Let this truth breathe into the deepest caverns of your fear. Michael will stand by you as a warrior of grace, not to harden you into bitterness, but to shield you so that your heart can mend with integrity. There will be choices to make about relationship. Michael does not prescribe one path, he illuminates the consequences of each. You might choose to leave the relationship entirely, to sever ties, walk away, and create safety for your spirit. That is a valid path, especially if deception is chronic and harmful. You might choose to set firm boundaries while keeping the person at a distance. You might require transparent conditions before trust is rebuilt, full disclosure, restitution where appropriate, and a clear plan for accountability. Or you might choose to forgive and continue, but only with signs of real repentance and changed behavior over time. Whichever path you choose, ensure it prioritizes your soul's safety and dignity. Do not stay because fear of loneliness tempts you into compromise. The divine will not bless a life built on repeated betrayal. God also gives you practical counsel. Document what you can. Save messages, record dates, make a timeline. Write down what you remember before details fade. Truth is often preserved in a journal long before it is substantiated elsewhere. If there are legal or financial entanglements, seek competent counsel. Do not be rash in doing anything that might complicate future clarity. Consult wise advisors, trusted family members, spiritual leaders who respect confidentiality, and professional counsel where appropriate. Ask God for discernment to know whom to involve. Michael will help you see red flags in advisors as well. Not everyone who offers help has your best interests at heart. Another thing God is revealing now is a pattern of manipulation. The person who betrayed you likely employed tactics to keep you uncertain: gaslighting, minimization, diversion. These are classic strategies of someone who needs to hide more than they need to reconcile. When you begin to name the tactics, you will see how the pattern sustained itself. Michael says, name them. Naming is the first step to dismantling. When you can say out loud what was done, the power of the act to haunt you diminishes. Speak truth into the dark corners where lies nested. You might do this aloud in your private space or write a letter you do not send. The catharsis of naming will steady you. Expect angels to move in practical ways. You may find a new ally at your workplace, a phone call that arrives just when you need it, or an unexpected financial provision that gives you breathing room. These are not mere coincidences, they are small mercies. Do not overlook them. Michael will align resources and create openings as you step into truth. Keep your heart open to receive assistance from unusual directions and be ready to accept help without shame. God often sends deliverance dressed as ordinary people with hands to help. Forgiveness will be asked of you by many, including perhaps by your own conscience. Michael urges you, do not mistake forgiveness for immediate reconciliation. Forgiveness is a release of bitterness for your own soul's sake, a handing over of the desire for vengeance. Reconciliation, if it ever comes, requires accountability, restitution, and time. It must be earned. Forgiveness can begin now in the quiet chamber of your heart, a prayer that says, I release myself from carrying this poison. This does not mean you forget or pretend nothing happened. It means you choose not to let anger be your identity. You might sit with God and say, I forgive where I can. I protect where I must. Let that be your prayer. There is also a strong warning. The one who betrayed you may try to manipulate your compassion. They may craft a narrative to make themselves the victim, to turn guilt into your responsibility. Michael asks you to test every narrative against the ledger of facts. Empathy is holy, but do not let it be exploited. Healthy compassion comes with prudence. If someone seeks your mercy while continuing the behavior that harmed you, that is not repentance, that is manipulation. A truly repentant person will accept consequences, seek to repair harm, and show through consistent action that change is real.